Today I'd like to talk about Lucio Fulci's Zombie 2, also known as Zombie Flesh Eaters. It was released in 1979 and is one of the coolest Italian horror movie ever made, and definitely one of the most famous. It is famous for its zombie makeup, gore effects, and strange dreamlike atmosphere. And of course, it is famous for shark vs zombie fight scene, which I'll talk more about later. I can't think of any zombie movies that feel anything like Zombie 2. While it may have been inspired by George Romero's Dawn of the Dead, Zombie 2 still feels completely original. It's very different from Romero's zombie movies. Zombie 2 was directed by Lucio Fulci, who was sometimes called Godfather of Gore. This movie is probably his most famous movie. He also directed many other great horror movies, like The Psychic, The City of the Living Dead, and The New York Ripper, to name just a few. In the late 70s, Italian studio wanted to make unofficial sequels to successful American movies. George Romero's Dawn of the Dead was released in Italy under the title Zombie, so studios decided to title Fulci's movie Zombie 2, even though it has no actual connection to Romero's work. Some people might think this makes the movie seem like cheap rip-off, but it isn't. Both Dawn of the Dead and Zombie 2, they're amazing movies and very different from each other. It's obviously, when watch movie, that Fulci directed the project seriously and put all his effort into it. Watching the movie is like watching an artist paint in a way. It's very artistic creation, not just mindless zombie action. When you watch Zombie 2 and other Fulci movies, you can see how directors like Quentin Tarantino were heavily inspired by him. Many of his shots are almost identical to shots in Fulci movies. I was really shocked when I watched my first Fulci movies and immediately realized this. The camera work is very similar to how Tarantino has his movie filmed. One of the best parts of Zombie 2 is how slow everything moves. The island seems to be frozen in a place and stuck in a nightmare. You can feel the heat and see how sweaty everyone is on the screen. I really like how Fulci chose a tropical island setting for the movie. It makes it very unique. When I imagine zombies, I usually imagine in an urban or suburban settings, so setting the movie on an almost deserted tropical island was a cool choice, and it adds to the strange, quiet atmosphere to the movie. I also really like how the zombies look in the movie. Some of the corpses are hundreds of years old, and you can see worms are still crawling in their eye sockets. It's disgusting but so cool. Today you probably wouldn't see handmade special effects like that. Sadly, it would probably be done with CGI. Of course, I want to talk a lot about underwater zombie vs shark fights. No special effects, no CGI. It was a real shark. And the shark's trainer dressed as a zombie wrestling with it underwater. The scene feels very random, but that's what makes it very interesting. Where did Zombie come from? Did he fall off a boat? Did he just decided to leave island and go swimming? How long had he been on the ocean floor? These are fun questions to ask. When I first saw the scene, I was laughing and clapping because how crazy it was. It immediately became one of my favorite horror scenes. The shark must have been pretty confused, and I bet it wondered what the heck was going on. It's funny the shark has no idea it's in a crazy Italian horror movie. Shark lives a long time, so I bet he's still alive. Little does he know it's a movie star. It is also another cool thing about the movie. Today you probably wouldn't find a director brave enough to put scenes as absurd as that in their movie. But directors like Fulci and Argento were never afraid of doing crazy, weird things in their movies. Their movies are full of many weird, bizarre scenes, which add charm and dreamlike atmosphere. Italian cinema is so crazy. And then there's the other famous scene everyone remembers. The scene with the stick, sharp wood splinter going into the eye of the doctor's wife. The scene is so disgusting and so real. It moves very slowly too. I like the sound effect in the scene. You can hear the zombie very slowly getting closer, and then it suddenly breaks through the door. I bet it smells so horrible. And then it grabs the doctor's wife and begins to pull her closer, moving her eye towards to the splinter. The acting is very good in the scene. You can feel how terrified and hopeless she is. You know she isn't going to escape, but you wish she could. The special effects are really amazing in this scene. It moves very slowly and you expect the camera pull away and hide what happened to doctor's wife, but it doesn't. It shows everything and it's so gross. An American horror movie probably wouldn't have shown a full shot, but Italian horror seems like it was be able to get away with showing much more gore. Fulci's zombies look very old, like they've been buried hundreds of years. They are muddy, rotten, and covered with worms. My favorite thing about zombies in this movie is how slowly they move. They are the slowest zombie I ever seen in any movie or TV show. Until they bite you, when they approach you, they move slower than the sloths, and then suddenly they lunge at you like a snake when they get close. The film also has a sense of dream logic like other Italian horror. I really love about that genre. Scenes end suddenly, they don't explain much, and I like that. Fulci doesn't treat the audience with kid gloves trying to explain everything. This dreamlike atmosphere is one of the greatest things about Italian horror of this time period. I wish they still made horror movies that felt like this and movies that look like this. The movie has beautiful cinematography, like all of Fulci movies. The music in this movie is also some of the best ever. I always hum the soundtrack in my head. Fabio Frigi did an amazing job, giving it a tropical, creepy feel. Today, if the movie was released, it would probably have a generic, mainstream-sounding musical score. So many Italian horror movies have amazing scores by people Fabio Frigi and Bill Wyman, who did some music for opera and Phenomena, and of course the legendary band Goblin and Claudio Simonetti. The music in this movie really adds to the atmosphere and makes it so memorable. It wouldn't be the same with the generic score. Fabio Frigi created a masterpiece. Zombie 2 is not a typical zombie movie. It's extreme slow moving in very creepy, atmospheric way. Younger viewers might consider it boring, but I think the pacing is perfect and never dull. I hope over time more young fans will discover this movie and enjoy it like I have. Anyone who likes horror should watch this movie. In the next video, I'll jump to 1988 and talk about one of all time my favorite 80s movies, The Blob. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.